Hi everyone. Um, my name is Fiona King. I'm also in the School of Inclusive and Special Education that Aoife mentioned a minute ago. And I might be able to answer some of your questions in relation to that level 10 because we're going to be focusing now on the EdD program or the Doctor of Education program. So I'm just going to share my screen. So, what is a Doctor of Education program? Most people kind of talk about PhDs, but increasingly we are seeing um, an increase in interest in what we call an EdD. So, it's same qualification, it's a level 10 as a PhD is. It's a research degree for experienced professionals. So, typically, you would have people that are very experienced in their field, in their professional practice, and they may want to go into a different aspect of practice, maybe take on a more leadership role, maybe at system level in a country or within a school, or they may want to go into university level in terms of lecturing, as somebody asked Aoife a few minutes ago. So the Doctor of Education program allows you to draw on your existing professional practice and to enhance the skills through the research degree. So it's quite a transformational program where people's thinking is challenged and changes over the course of the journey. So the professional doctorate, or EdD for short, was described as the degree that was most appropriate for the preparation for the potential transformation of the field of professional practice, just as the PhD represents preparation for the potential transformation of the basic knowledge in a discipline. So that's if we're looking for how it is viewed in some policy documents in terms of the distinction between a professional doctorate and your typical PhD. So the EdD enhances participants' professional learning through research while meeting the qualifications and the requirements of rigour and originality expected of a doctorate. The examination of the thesis is exactly the same. The same criteria are used. They're both level 10s, so there's no distinction made between what is expected. So it's the thesis still has to contain original work, and it has to be considered significant and weighty and have a new contribution to knowledge. So that new contribution to knowledge can be in terms of theory, it can be empirical, it can be to do with a new method that was used, it can be to do with context. So you might be looking at a similar topic as somebody looked at previously, but you're looking at it in a different context now. And then the new contribution might be related to practice either. So it depends and varies with students. So why would you do an EdD in DCU in particular? So you would be situated within Ireland's only Faculty of Education, the DCU Institute of Education. We're drawing on 2 decades of professional doctorate studies within the Institute. Our strategic plan in DCU focuses very much on talent discovery and transformation, and the EdD is about transformation in the field of practice. So the aim is that we're further educating the next generation of leaders to the highest international standards. You'd have the opportunity to work alongside senior researchers in their fields and to work with a supervisor or team of supervisors with expertise in your area of interest to generate new and original research. Now, I've highlighted in bold down there that our next intake is August 2024. So we only do an intake every 2 years, but we open the call for applications in usually September, October time. So that'll be this coming September, October time. And I'll tell you a little bit about that process before we finish up. But it is important to remember that. So within the program, we have a number of what we call areas of professional focus. So we have arts, creativity and music in education, assessment, learning and teaching, digital learning, Education for Sustainable Futures is our newest APF. Ethical and multi-denominational education, inclusive and special education, leadership and evaluation, and professional learning and teacher education. So not all of these run every time we run the program. It really depends on supply and demand, because we need a core number to run each of the areas of professional focus. But it's really important that you find a good fit for your interest. I mean, a doctoral journey is a substantial piece of work, and you need to be very committed. So it needs to be a right fit. So whatever you're thinking is your area of research, it's really important that you look at these areas of professional focus on the website, and I'll give you the link at the end. And it gives you more detail about each of those. We don't have time to kind of look at all the details with these at the moment. But I would suggest that you talk to the leader of each of these, or indeed contact myself, to make sure that it's a good fit for you and that you're a good fit for the program. So the program aims to foster cohort solidarity, to develop inter and intra-personal skills that are critical for teamwork. But it also focuses on communication skills, leadership skills, research, critical and analytical skills, all the things that you expect of a Level 10 program. But building community is central to our program on the EdD, and we do this through lots of different ways. So we have a virtual platform called Loop, so a space that you get access to all the materials, place that you can chat with peers. It's for sharing and discussing ideas. I host a weekly coffee and conversations every Wednesday on Zoom, just to pop in, chat. We also have a place to share web-based resources. We also host research in progress seminars with our PhD and Masters by Research students, run by the chair of postgraduate studies, Dr. Gillian Lake. So we run them together because we want our PhD and EdD students and Masters by Research students to have opportunities to share their research and thinking. We also host an annual postgraduate research student conference, fully online, to give our students an opportunity to share their research. It's an important part of the journey. We are the only university that's a member of the Carnegie Project of Education Doctorates worldwide. We're the only one outside of the USA. And that's a fabulous network, both for staff working on it and for students. And we also have other networks that we are part of listed there, including very strong links with doctoral students in Arizona State University. So it's a 4-year research degree, minimum 4 years. The first 2 years involve the taught phase. And after that, based on your thesis proposal, you'd be assigned a supervisor. So it's typically people who are full-time working professionals in education or related fields. We do an intake every 2 years, and typically you have the first summer school week is on campus, so you get to know each other and the staff. And then in each year of the first 2 years, we have 6 weekends. Currently, that's 2 weekends on campus and 4 online. And then years 3 and 4 are for the supervision stage of the thesis, which results in a 50,000 word dissertation. So I'm conscious of time, so I won't go into that structure. Just a lot of this information is available on the website, and I want to be able to give you an opportunity to ask questions and for me to check the chat. So that's just the general entry requirements and the application process. So just to give you information there on where the website for where you get more information about those, that would be where you can access more information on it. So I think we just have about 3 minutes left after that whistle stop tour. So I'd invite any questions from the chat, if anybody has any questions. You can contact me at any time at my email address. Can you do a research master's? Yes, you can. You can do a master's by research. And again, if you Google Masters by Research in DCU. Gillian Lake is the chair of that program, and you'll be able to get information on that. And just related to a question that Aoife had a while ago in terms of level 10, just to say that, as I said, the EdD and the PhD are the same qualification. So if somebody was interested in a lecturing position in a university, either an EdD or a PhD they're treated the same on application.